Have you ever heard someone say, it happened 2 years ago, why can't you just move on? Or maybe you are the one asking, I've apologized, I've changed, why doesn't my partner trust me yet? Or perhaps you are the injured partner wondering, why am I still struggling to trust even though I want this marriage to work? If you've ever asked any of those questions, stay with me until the end of this video, because today I'm going to explain why trust takes so long to rebuild, why healing isn't a straight line, and what actually helps trust to return. And if you're trying to repair marriage after betrayal, broken promises, or emotional injuries, this may be one of the most important videos you will watch. I recently worked with a couple where the affair had ended almost 2 years earlier. The husband was doing everything he knew to do. He was transparent. He checked in regularly. He attended therapy. He answered questions. He worked hard to show his wife that he had changed. Yet, every time his wife became triggered, he found himself asking, what else do I have to do? At the same time, his wife kept asking, why can't I just trust him again? Both were exhausted. Both were hurting. Both wanted the marriage to work. Neither understood why trust was taking so long to rebuild. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Before we begin, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had someone break your trust? If your answer is yes, type yes in the comments. Hello, I'm Bose, psychotherapist and marriage coach, your partner in your wholeness journey and marital bliss. If conversations like this interest you, consider subscribing. I share practical relationship insights every week. So, let's get started. Trust is built in drops, but lost in buckets. One of the biggest misunderstandings about trust is this. People think trust is an event. It isn't. Trust is an experience. Trust is built through hundreds and sometimes thousands of small moments, like keeping your word, being honest, being consistent, being emotionally available, following through, showing up. Over time, those moments create safety. Then something happens, an affair, a lie, a hidden debt, a secret friendship, a pornography addiction, a broken promise. Suddenly, years of safety is shattered. Remember, trust is built in drops but lost in buckets. Many people want trust to return as quickly as it disappeared. Trust isn't just about what happened. It's about what the betrayal changed. This is where many couples get stuck. The offending partner often focuses on the behavior. The injured partner is struggling with the meaning of the behavior. For example, an affair is not just an affair. It may mean, was our marriage real? Can I trust my judgment? Was I a fool? Will this happen again? Am I enough? How did I miss this? You see, the injury often reaches much deeper than the event itself. People don't just lose trust in their partner. Sometimes they lose trust in their own ability to feel safe. The brain doesn't care about promises. This is one of the hardest realities for couples. The offending partner says, I have changed. I'll never do it again. You need to trust me. The problem is that the brain doesn't heal through promises. The brain heals through evidence. Imagine touching a hot stove. Someone can tell you 100 times that stove is cool. If you want to touch it, your hand will hesitate. Not because you are being stubborn, but because your brain remembers that pain. The same thing happens after betrayal. The nervous system becomes alert, watchful, protective. Trust returns when experience catches up with promises. Time alone does not heal trust. You see, people often say, just give it time. Yes, time matters, but time alone does not rebuild trust. I've seen couples 5 years after an affair who still haven't healed. I've also seen couples make tremendous progress within a year or two. The difference is not the passage of time. The difference is what happens during the time. Trust grows when there is consistency, transparency, accountability, empathy, patience, honest conversations. Without those things, time simply creates distance. Time doesn't heal trust. The offending partner is hurting too. I want to pause here and speak directly to the partner who broke the trust. Because in many conversations about betrayal, the offending partner becomes invisible. And that's not helpful. They know they caused pain. They see their spouse crying. They see the suspicion. They see the triggers, the questions, the distance, and they feel helpless. I can't undo the past. I hate seeing my spouse in pain. I wish we could go back to normal. What often happens is that they become desperate to repair the relationship. Offer reassurances over and over. From the outside, it may look loving, and often it is, but underneath all those efforts is frequently anxiety. The marriage feels stuck. Their spouse still doesn't trust them. The tension remains, and they want relief so badly. They want connection. They want normalcy. Unfortunately, this sometimes creates a new problem. The injured partner feels pressured to heal before they are ready. The offending partner feels rejected because their efforts aren't working, and both people become frustrated. The offending partner wants the pain to stop. Those are not the same thing, and that is what I help couples struggling through this thing. One of the most difficult lessons for the offending partner is learning that rebuilding trust is not about convincing your partner that you have changed. It's about creating enough consistent experiences that they discover it for themselves. The goal is not to force trust. The goal is to become trustworthy over and over and over again. One of the hardest parts of trust recovery is this: that person who has changed. Neither person is wrong. They are simply standing in different places in their healing journey. The offending partner says, "Look at all the changes I've made." The injured partner says, "I know, but I'm still scared." The offending partner says, "Why can't you just see how hard I'm trying?" The injured partner says, "Why can't you see how much I am hurting?" Both people are often longing for understanding, and both people need compassion. If you are the offending partner watching this video, I want you to share with me what is the hardest part of rebuilding trust. You can leave it in the comment section. I think many injured partners will be surprised by your answer. It could help someone. So trust is built through consistency, answering the phone, being where you said you would be, being honest when it's uncomfortable, following through repeatedly, doing what you said you would do day after day, week after week, month after month. Trust isn't rebuilt by one big moment. It's rebuilt by hundreds of small ones. So if you want to build trust, just be consistent. So if you're finding this helpful, take a second to give this video a thumbs up. It helps the message reach many other couples who may be struggling right now. So the version of their partner they believed existed, their sense of safety, their certainty, their future expectations, the story they told themselves about their marriage. And grief takes time. Nobody tells someone grieving a death. You don't tell them that, "Oh, shouldn't you be over it by now?" Yet many people say exactly that after betrayal. Healing slows down when people feel pressured to heal faster. The answer is sometimes. You see, I've seen couples rebuild trust. I've seen marriages recover. I've seen people heal after years of secrecy and broken promise. I've seen relationships become healthier than they were before betrayal. But trust rarely returns because someone demanded it. Trust returns because someone consistently becomes trustworthy. There is a difference. Trust is not given because it's requested. Trust is given because it's earned. So here is a word to both partners. If you are the injured partner, your struggle does not mean you are failing. Your questions do not mean you are weak. Healing takes time. And if you are the offending partner, your frustration is understandable. Your desire for normalcy makes sense. You are likely tired too. Tired of the tension, tired of the distance, tired of seeing your partner hurt. But your partner's pain is not evidence that you are making no progress. Many people are healing even while they are still hurting. Keep showing up. Keep being accountable. Keep being patient. Keep being transparent. Keep becoming the person your partner can safely trust again. Don't give up. If you are rebuilding trust in a relationship right now, I want you to remember this. It's more like a bridge. Now the bridge has been damaged, so you need time to repair it, to strengthen it, and eventually walk across it again. The goal is not to pretend the damage never happened. The goal is to create enough safety that crossing that bridge becomes possible again. So before you leave, I would love to hear from you. What do you think is the hardest part of rebuilding trust? Is it the waiting, the uncertainty, the fear, the forgiveness, the patience? Leave your answer in the comments. I read your comments, and many of my future videos come directly from your questions. So if you know someone struggling with broken trust, check the video description to learn more about working with me. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you join this community. We have these conversations every week. Remember this: trust is built through consistency and rebuilt through consistency again. I'm Bose. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.